Okay, let me go over some troubleshooting tips. If you attempt to cast your spoon 2 or 3 times and you have a hole or a gap in the bowl of the spoon, slightly to the sides, it's usually on the sides. The quick and easy solution to that is to simply remove these 2 bolts and wing nuts. That's not actually a bad sign because that just shows how well 2-part mold will lock together in this center section here. So the quick solution is just to remove the 2 bolts and wing nuts, and once again tighten these as you normally would, which is spin it in place till it stops. Use your thumb to hold the head of the screw. You feel that resistance, give it a half turn, quarter turn, or a half turn in order to tighten it in place. Now should you get a spoon that has any spray, any leakage outside the seam of the spoon, again, that's not overly bad, because with gallium you can heat up a butter knife in hot water, and then you can easily trim off those sections. Now with Fields metal, should that happen, you're going to have to heat up the knife in boiling water and let it sit there for a couple minutes before you attempt to remove these sprayed flaked sections off the spoon. Now speaking of Fields metal, the first time I attempted to cast a spoon with Fields metal, the metal solidified in the syringe, and that was because I had it at a temperature about 150 or 148, slightly above 144 degrees Fahrenheit, its melting point. So when it came in contact with the cold syringe, it actually solidified inside the syringe before I was able to dispense it in the mold. So gallium is quick to melt and slow to solidify, but Fields metal is quick to melt and quick to solidify. So the trick is bring the Fields metal up to about 160, 165 degrees and warm up your syringe under a heat lamp prior to dispensing it into your mold, and that way you will be successful. Now this mold shows a lot of gallium buildup, which it shouldn't be that excessive. This is from opening up the mold prior to the gallium being entirely solidified. The inner core of the spoon was solidified, but the outer surfaces of the spoon wasn't ready to be removed. So it's kind of like peeling away the skin of the gallium from the spoon. And if you're too eager to remove your spoon, you're going to defeat your purpose. So once you cast your spoon, you should let that frame sit where it's at because any kind of movement can disturb the crystallization process. So after sitting there for about 2 hours, you can carefully remove it and put it in the fridge if you're uncertain of whether it's solidified, but you really don't want to touch it. As I maybe mentioned earlier, if you're using a indium gallium tin mixture, extremely low melting point, it's never going to solidify at room temperature, so you do have to move it into the fridge, and wherever you cast it should be close to the fridge, and then you should make prior preparations to put the frame in your refrigerator. That's only for an indium gallium tin type of alloy, if you're using that type. Now, over a period of time, if you're casting your spoons, you're going to get built up into your syringe, and that can affect any solidified gallium, can affect the gallium being dispensed into the mold. So the best way to clean it is to get you some hot water or warm water, and let your syringe sit in the water, and then just simply once the buildup liquefies, you can pump water into it and then dispense it out into the cup. You can see there's quite a bit. It's probably 3 or 4 grams of gallium. And of course, you put this in the fridge, let it solidify, pour out the water, dry off the gallium in order to recover it. Now, if you over a period of time, if you look into your gallium container and you see debris that shouldn't be there, that's when the gallium's in liquid form. That debris will float above it, so it can be easily you can easily spot it. Just pick it out with a pair of tweezers. Now, this is the first version of the spoon mold, and anytime you commercially put something out there, there's a lot of improvements to be made in order to make it practical for most usage. I can efficiently work this because I have experience, but should you have a problem, feel free to contact me. I consider this the Kickstarter version 1, and any improvements to simplify the overall process, the procedures, I'll contact those with those improvements and make them as they go. Once again, that's giving the feedback for any improvements to make the process more standardized. Alrighty, thank you.